Unlike other medical specialties, the training pathways for aesthetics are a little bit less clearly defined, and that's because officially aesthetic medicine isn't a medical specialty in the UK. It's not recognised as such, although I'm really hopeful that steps we're taking will lead to that in future. So how did I go from my medical training to becoming an aesthetic doctor? I graduated from the University of Leeds in 2008, and I have 2 degrees at that point. So I had my MBCHB, which is my medical and surgical degree, and I also had a Bachelor of Science in genetics in relation to medicine. That was what I'd done up to that point, and I proceeded into my F1 and F2 preliminary medical training across a wide range of specialties. So I worked in various Kent hospitals. I did general medicine and rheumatology, I did cardiology, I did general surgery and neurology, I did ENT surgery, I did orthopedics and trauma, and I did A&E. So I got this really broad medical experience and training. I then applied when it was a decision on which specialty to go for. I actually applied and became an anaesthetist, and I was working towards becoming a consultant anaesthetist and also potentially doing some intensive care medicine. And I did that for 4 years. So I was a registrar when I eventually did leave the NHS. But for me, it was around 2012 when I first started thinking, I really want to explore aesthetic medicine a little bit further, and I decided to book a training course. So in those days, the training that exists now wasn't in place. I did a 1-day training course, and from there on, fell in love with it, but realised how much more training I needed. And I went on to create really my own training and mentoring pathway, because that wasn't formally defined. If you're considering aesthetic medicine now, I really would encourage you to commit to doing a level 7, because it will give you a breadth and a depth of understanding and support and mentorship that you can't get independently. I think it really is the way forwards for aesthetic education nowadays. Throughout my aesthetic career, I've never stopped learning or committing to learning. So I've also gone on to do a postgraduate certificate in aesthetic medicine and then a postgraduate diploma in clinical dermatology. I still exceed probably 3-fold at least my CPD requirements every single year. So it's not ever about stopping training, whether that's attending congresses, or for me at the moment, I'm actually doing an MBA to develop my business skills a little bit further. And aesthetics is a combination of medical and technical skill, artistry, and also potentially some business skills in there, all of which take learning. The other thing I really would say is if you're at the very early stages of your medical career, you're still a student or you're in your first couple of years post-graduation, I'd really encourage you to get some good general medical experience under your belt before branching out into aesthetics. Because once you are in aesthetics, you are in an environment that's much less sheltered than being in an NHS hospital. If an emergency happens, if a complication happens, if an anaphylaxis happens, your patient is relying on you to have the clinical knowledge and expertise to be able to deal with that in a safe and effective way. So I really would advocate you getting some general medical experience under your belt to improve your skills and to improve your confidence in dealing with difficult situations.
If this content has been useful for you, please give it a thumbs up or send me a little message below, and please do subscribe if you'd like to see more content like this.